feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig. Hey guys, it's Marty and welcome to this week's episode of the Feels Like Home podcast. This week we sat down and had a chat with Josh and Cora Willett. They are the owner-operators of Danberry Cinemas. And Chillicothe is very, very happy to have first-run movies back in our city. And so we're super excited to sit down and talk to them about how they got into the movie theater business and how it's growing for them and how tough it was to open up a theater and try to open up a theater during the pandemic. So we have a great conversation. We hope you enjoy it. Again, Josh and Cora Willett from Danberry Cinemas.
We are very excited to have Josh and Cora Willett with us tonight, who run the Chillicothe Cinema, the Danberry Cinema here in town. The triumphant return of the cinema. I say that in front of you guys all the time. It's almost like like you guys were the first people to build one in this town or something.
No, and that's perfect because that's been the huge motto for, the movies in general is the big screen is back.
Yeah.
So we're more than happy to pick up that motto as well.
Yeah. And I'm happy to give it to you because I remember when Danbury closed, just the thought of not having first run movies in Chillicothe was a really like a goose pimply thing for me because
absolutely.
You got to have, especially in a town like this where you've had it for so long. And we even had 2 theaters at one point in time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
3.
That's right. We had 3.
Yeah. At one time we had Majestic, Adena, and then Chillicothe Cinemas out in Central Center.
Yeah. And then
I'm showing
over
my
time
age.
there was Shawnee, and then there was Chillicothe out on Western
Cinema
Avenue,
6.
right? Cinema 6. Yeah, that's right.
Started out Cinema 4, then they built 2 more on.
I remember the end of Cinema 6 in Chillicothe where I went to see a movie. I feel like it couldn't have been Passion of the Christ, but it was one of those era movies where literally there was water coming through the ceiling.
Well, Go ahead. You were talking. Matt has talked about that before, right? And with Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ was the largest grossing movie at Tri-City Theater ever.
Oh, I bet.
Since 1990.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
So
I remember here it was sold out for weeks and weeks and weeks, So,
So even though, like for me, I've only been involved in the theaters, well, as an outsider with Cora, but I've only been involved for, I guess it's almost a year and a half at this point. But and even to the Chillicothe area and to southeastern Ohio, as much as I've been here for 20 years, you talk about the movie theaters. It's like there was this one and this one and this one. Well, I moved here 20 years ago, so I'm an outsider again to here. So looking at it in those perspective, I don't remember it that way. So
I remember like what movies I saw at what places.
Yeah.
Sure.
As a kid growing up, I know I saw Star Wars, the original Star Wars at the Majestic Theater.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a replay of White Christmas at the Majestic Theater on a Saturday matinee. It was like things like that.
I remember coming to the Shawnee Theater, and I remember going to the Regal, but I don't remember what I saw there.
Yeah.
I remember the lobby and who I went with.
Yeah.
But I don't recall those specifically. Now at home, I remember some specific instances of going to the Marquee or to Tri-City.
Right.
Some, extra special memories.
Yeah. So a lot of people may or may not know this, but Danbury is not the only cinema that you guys own and run.
Correct.
And so let's talk a little bit about that background and kind of how we got to you taking over Danbury.
Sure. So Matt Fields, who actually operated this Shawnee Theater for a little while here in Chillicothe, also operated Tri-City Theater in Jackson, Ohio. And he operated it for about 17 years before he realized he wanted a nightlife also, not doing the weekend to weekend, day to day of a movie theater business. So he was looking for another operator to run it. And being involved in other local businesses in Jackson, we didn't want to see it close. So we volunteered to learn the movie business from Matt. And I followed him under his wing for about a month before officially taking the reins, which was actually June 1st in 2017. So exactly 5 years ago
Wow.
yesterday.
Okay.
And been in the movie business since then, along with other duties that I do with the other companies. In 2019, the theater in Gallipolis, which some people know as the Spring Valley Cinemas, had been converted to the Silver Screen 7. They were also looking to move on to another venture. So the Silver Screen 7 was looking for an operator. And we had done fairly well with Tri-City, got comfortable with everything, and decided to take it on also. So at that point in 2019, we began operating Tri-City Theater and Silver Screen 7. And then, of course, COVID hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a fortuitous purchase there, right? Like
Exactly. 6 months in, and we had to close our doors for 3 months.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Just a couple weeks after we started operating Silver Screen, the owners of Danberry and Chillicothe had reached out to us to see if we were interested. And at that point, taking on a third theater at the same time as a second theater was impossible, financially and operational wise.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the manpower to do that. So we had taken a step back from it. And then, of course, through COVID, had a few other discussions along the way. And eventually it seemed to be the right time. And that's when we moved forward. We started, I would say, July of 2021, really talking about getting Danberry open.
Well, I think she said there were conversations ahead of that. And I think even just like the community would say, there was this talk Paper City Cinemas. And we'd heard about that as well. But we didn't know much about it other than the fact that we knew there were conversations happening behind the scenes on our end as well. So it was, okay, somebody else bought the theater. So, take that off of our plate. Yeah. That's one less thing to think about. Great. Somebody's going to come open the movie theater. Fantastic. So
we found out that they had definitely talked about it, but hadn't moved quite to the point where we could be.
Right.
So we reached out to them and met with them individually. I don't know if you want names or not, but we met with Joey and, discussed both of our ideas for the theater to see if it would work out as a group, as a partnership. And then I believe he ended up moving away and we moved forward with the theater.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And in fact, he's back in town now. So that's kind of interesting.
I heard that rumor.
Yeah.
I heard
As of
that
Saturday.
too.
Yeah.
As of Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, as of Saturday. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I knew it was fairly certain that he was coming back and that it was.
And again,
pretty
he was
close.
involved. My understanding is that he was involved with the cinema at one point in time
Correct.
as an employee, et
Yeah, I
cetera.
think so.
So, he definitely, had a love of the theater, et cetera. So,
I think he was in the same boat as everybody else. Was like they just have a love for the theater and couldn't imagine not having first run theater in Chillicothe.
Yeah.
Sure. And there were several people, I believe, in this community that were saying the same thing. It's like, man, somebody needs to buy this place and get it going so we can have a first run theater again. So
I think
several local business people were having that conversation.
Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of those people were all looking at each other like, all right, when are you
Are
guys
you
going
going
to
to do
move,
it?
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Who's going to do this?
So I
jump
think,
first.
thankfully, Joey kind of took the initiative to say, all right, I'll be the person to kind of rally the troops here. And although his thing didn't work out, I'm glad that, that you guys were able to step up.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Obviously, your expertise in running the theaters, or you may not look at it as expertise, your at least experience in running it, I think bodes a little better than folks who had a lot to learn about running from the big picture rather than just a small picture,
Sure. We have a very young experience, but it's still experience. And, we surround ourselves with good people. So that helps every step of the way.
And we can tell you that we were also involved so you have the Marquet Theater in Jackson, which again was an old historic movie theater that had, closed down, became a part of the city, and the Southern Hills Arts Council took that over. Cora and I were both involved on the board at one point in time during the major renovation portion of that, looking to turn it into a performing arts center, et cetera, which again, I know has little to nothing to do with Danberry, but it really is a part of the experiences that we had coming into this, that we were involved in those elements as well, and having some knowledge there. So we've been involved in the nonprofit element that is, theaters and performing arts centers, as well as the, you hate to say it this way, the for-profit portion. So it's two different worlds, but we've been involved in, and we're both artists as well, in that both of us have music degrees. So Cora and I met at Capital University in 1995 is when we met, and both of us have education degrees. So I was a high school band director for 20 years. Cora taught elementary music for
almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. So we've known each other, and the arts is extremely important to us. And I like to think about the movie theater as being kind of an extension of the arts.
Well, it is 100%.
Yeah. No question.
So I'm on the board of the Pump House Center for the Arts here.
Sure.
I'm board president right now. And one of the things that we've talked about is, a lot of people look at us as, physical form art. So, painting and photos and things like that. But, what we've tried to do over the last couple of years is to bring in celebrations of the community. Like, for example, we're really working with the NAACP to do Juneteenth celebrations this year.
Sure.
And so we talk about that. We talk about music. We talk about film. I mean, in all honesty, like, all of these things are arts. And if you're going to be a center for the arts, you better be including film and photography and paint and glass. And
so that's
everything.
one of the things that you'll always find from Cora and I, is that we're constantly trying to support the arts. I mean, that's really important to us. So sometimes people will talk to us about, hey, you should have a film festival. And we'll go, wait a minute, don't you have a theater here in town?
Yeah.
That would be perfect. A perfect venue for something like that.
Yeah.
And we would love to support something like that as well, because that's what we're used to as performers and artists ourselves.
Yeah. So I think folks have a surface knowledge of the work that went in to reopen the theater, but I have a little deeper, probably like Dixie Cup deeper knowledge of it. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that, because folks that I know that have gone to see movies now have remarked to me how much better of an experience it is. I think that probably makes you proud to hear.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes.
We hope so.
But that's a lot of bucks and a lot of work. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about that right now. Like, from the picture that you see to the sound, everything is brand new. Is that correct?
As far as the movie audio and visual experience, everything is brand new.
Yeah.
New projectors, laser projectors. We worked with Christie Projector Systems to source, and we were actually very lucky during COVID still to source projectors. We just attended CinemaCon in Las Vegas, which is the worldwide convention for cinema, and now they're having trouble getting projectors when people want them. So we were right at the probably end of being able to get projectors.
And we were extremely blessed at that time, because we managed to go to CinemaCon operating 2 theaters with the thought that there might be a third. And we managed to make a connection with a man who was originally from Circleville. Who works for Christie Projection.
Oh, wow.
And when we were talking to him about, hey, we might be needing some projectors, the answer was, yeah, you can't get them.
Right.
And at that point it was, well, now you're talking about, you're going to own a building and it's going to sit there for a year, or what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And fortunately, with those connections that we made by going and being involved in that, we were able to get these Christie laser projectors and make great connections. And we've been really fortunate, because as much as all of the connections that we've made in the movie business, they're all really, really good connections. And you guys understand that if you can make a really great connection, it's just going to help you along the way. And having someone who was local to Circleville, who now lives in California,
in LA.
It was just amazing to make that connection. And we were able to get something that was a much higher quality than we probably would have been looking for. But when you talk about the projection and sound being replaced, we did our due diligence looking at the theater itself and looking at Google.
Yeah.
And, what are the reviews? And we had our experiences as well from, we've been to the theater too, and we knew what to expect. And, it's not brand new, and it's not operated by one of the top 5 or top 10 companies in the country when it comes to movie theaters. It's a hometown movie theater.
Right.
So you have to be really, really realistic about what you can do. But at one point in time, they did. Danberry was equipped with Sony projection, which was pretty good in its time. They still had some sound issues, and we knew that. And there were things like anything else. You build something and you go, boy, I wish I'd done that different.
Right. Yeah.
Or
in some cases, it's like you build it and, 6 months later, the technology's so changed that it didn't matter what you did 6 months ago.
It advances so quickly.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that happened with us, was that the Sony projection was already in place, but it was 10 years old. So we were able to get out of agreements with Sony, and from there make these new relationships with Christie. And it was, you've got to change the speakers too. Yeah. And again, as a musician, you've got to change the speakers for crying out loud. You have to do that. So again, we were fortunate enough. We changed the projectors, we changed all the sound equipment, and we spent a lot of time trying to make it so at least the picture and the sound is great. If you go to a movie theater, the picture and the sound have to be great. You can complain about it, other things that you want, and popcorn will always be way too much money, and you charge way too much for tickets, and we can talk about the business element all day. But the truth of the matter is, the experience is what matters, especially in an age where people were going home during COVID and watching movies on their television sets. So what will bring people back to the theater? So that's been super important for us, that we want to make sure that the experience is one you can't get at home. We want a hometown feel in the theater. We want to make sure that our employees are always smiling. They're doing their best to be knowledgeable about movies, but again, they can't know everything. And we want to make sure the popcorn is fresh, which it always is. And make sure that we're in there cleaning up between rounds and just doing the best we can to have a good local hometown theater for everybody.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting is that some of the employees that worked under the Danberry returned, which is, after all that length of time, to me, that was like one of the most impressive things, that they caught the vision that you guys have and were like, we would love to come back.
Exactly. We have 3 managers, Tabby, Zach, and Abe, and all 3 of them worked at Danberry previously. Tabby had worked there 2 or 3 times and left and came back, I think 2. This would be her 3rd time. And she said, I will always work here. This is where I belong. So we were glad to have her, especially from a customer service standpoint, and knowing other people that had worked there. Zach and Abe, they have.
Zach was a projectionist at one point in time, and he was the one upstairs dealing with make sure any projection issues and loading in movies and taking care of all those things. So we knew that he had a knowledge there.
And facility-wise, they knew the building inside and out. They knew, what doors had problems closing and where they stored things, and, all the nooks and crannies of things that needed attention.
And then we find out someone like Abe. I love bragging about our managers. That Abe, worked at the movie theater and goes on to start studying a degree in business. And it's, what a perfect opportunity for you, because we're going to bring you as a manager and we'll teach you everything that we possibly can about business. And, this will be fantastic.
Abe's a good guy.
I know Abe. And a lot of people know Abe because of his involvement he's been involved in theater. He's been involved in a lot of things. So, man,
So which one was the one that created that, the Batman?
That's Zach.
Okay.
Zach is our artist.
That was phenomenal.
And did you see his Slimer?
I did. Actually, he showed me a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
On his phone, I think, is where he showed me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
And Zach's also an amateur filmmaker. So an amateur artist, amateur filmmaker, he said, I'm going to make Slimer for Ghostbusters. And went, okay, sure, great. And then he comes in with Slimer. We're going,
He started with chunks of cardboard
Yeah.
and spray foam insulation and molded it and formed it and sculpted it and painted it down to the teeth.
That's fantastic.
he did he's made a movie about, he's
Moonville
been
Tunnel.
working at Moonville Tunnel, and he had, of course, at the time that he was doing it, I believe, and again, I hate to talk too much about him, but he was working on, he had filmed some stuff, and they had built a fire in Moonville Tunnel, shocker, a bonfire. And then they built the road that goes up to Moonville, so he couldn't do it again. So instead, he built a model replica of Moonville Tunnel.
Right.
Wow.
And
As
I've
a
only
miniature.
seen the pictures, but unbelievable.
That's great.
So yeah,
But
it's
you
neat to have those
people
people.
working for you who have a passion for what they're doing.
Yeah,
And so
100%.
it just makes when you love your job, it's not
Yeah.
a job, right?
It does. And there are some concession workers that came back too, which is
great.
exciting that they came back even for that. So
Yeah. Well, you can go anywhere and see a movie. Obviously, as you pointed
Sure.
out, you can do it at home.
Yeah.
But if the experience is correct and it feels good, I'm going to go back, right?
Yes.
And I've been a couple times since it reopened, and the experience is there. I was never a guy that really. I mean, I would listen to the sound and maybe hear things that didn't sound right or whatever,
Sure.
or maybe the sound bled in from the other theater. You have a drama playing next to an action movie, probably not a good idea, right? Like,
Sure.
And sometimes you can't avoid that, right?
Absolutely.
The summer is filled with these action movies
Sure.
usually. So,
and you've got to put them in the biggest theaters humanly
100%.
possible.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where your crowd's coming from.
so like I think like for me, the experience was never about. I was going to a movie, and ever since I was a kid, I loved going to movies. Now it feels like I can understand. Oh boy, that was kind of a mess back then on the sound, or that picture wasn't quite what it could have been. Which is really neat.
we're not going to proclaim that it's perfect by
Right.
any means.
Sure.
I mean,
we have things that we'd still like to work on. And as time goes, we'll be able to work on those things.
Yeah.
But
one of the best experiences for us was we had Batman there for our grand opening.
Yeah.
And I remember that, Batman is there. He's standing at the front of the theater without a microphone, talking to 200 people. Meanwhile, Batman is playing in the other two screens on both sides, and we didn't hear it. And I thought, yes,
Yeah.
we've made a difference.
Sure.
It's not perfect, but we've made a difference. And so that was really, we were just thrilled. It was like, yes, I don't hear it next door. Because when we opened up for Spider-Man, we hadn't made all of those
that's
adjustments yet. And meanwhile, our employees, who again are huge cinephiles, are going, you can't let anybody in the theater next to Spider-Man right now because they're going to start hearing the words coming from next door and it's spoiler alert. And so we wanted to make sure that wasn't the case for, it was really embarrassing for your employees, let alone for yourself as owners, operators.
Sure.
So we did everything we could to minimize that.
And so that was one of the other improvements that you made to the theaters was to soundproof them a little bit better, right?
yes.
So
Yes.
how do you achieve that?
Well, in this case, what happened was we basically were playing the sound from theater to theater, and we started finding the gaps, finding the leaks. And it, I don't want to say it was as simple as, but we really did find the leaks, and we figured out where that was happening, and we were able to seal all that up and get that at least so that it was better. But there was about a 1/2-inch gap from floor to ceiling, which you're talking 20 some feet at the very front of the theaters. And so you have this sound, and that's where your speakers are.
Right.
Right.
So you have this sound that's just making its way from one place to another. Now, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
Since that building was built, it's been that way. So we were able to come in and at least make that better.
Right.
The only other way to make it any better is start tearing down walls and rebuilding them.
Right.
Sure.
But
and insulating the ceiling.
Which is
yes,
extremely expensive.
Yes.
And hard to do right now because of how backed up construction is and
Sure.
how
Supply chain
supply
issues,
chains
yeah.
are, yeah. So
So we did the best we could to make it so that the experience is really
Much better.
as good as it can be right now without starting from scratch.
Yeah.
My first movie with you when you opened back up was the new Spider-Man, and it was fantastic. I was like so impressed with the sound and visually, and it was a busy night, so it was one of the first shows, and there was just a bunch of people in there, and it was like it felt good.
Yes,
and it reminded me one of the last things that I'd been with. I always took my kids to all the Harry Potter opening nights, and on Deathly Hallows, they had like a midnight showing, and I took Maddie and a bunch of her friends, my oldest daughter, and I remember being in a packed movie theater. And it had been so long since I'd been in a movie theater. Well, then you run into COVID where you weren't allowed to go. So it was really fun to be back in Danberry or, the cinema watching Spider-Man with a bunch of other people.
Exactly.
It was just a great experience.
You can't beat experiencing something like that with a group of people. Everybody's on the edge of their seat. They're all applauding, crying.
There were moments in that movie where people actually applauded and just interacted with what was going on.
So Cora and I had this amazing experience at CinemaCon in Las Vegas where we got to see Top Gun
in April.
And we were surrounded by people who own, operate, work at movie theaters. And just having the opportunity to be there, and we're talking, this was in the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know how many people were there, but I'm going to guess every bit of 2,000. And just listen, and these people who've been anticipating this great movie coming out. And I mean, I want to cry now just thinking about it.
Yeah.
But having that, and it was the biggest CinemaCon that they had had since pre-pandemic. And you have all these people who are just so excited to be there with each other together, everyone with this mutual love of cinema and a love of a great movie like Top Gun. It was probably one of the most incredible. I've had some pretty good experiences in my life, but that was absolutely an incredible experience.
Yeah. I went to see Top Gun on Saturday, 10 p.m. It was great.
Good.
Great movie.
Great.
I remember, and I'll be 54 next week. So I remember seeing E.T. on opening night, packed theater in Sandusky at a brand new movie theater. It was in the mall there. And I remember thinking to myself, because I was, I would have been 80, 79, somewhere in there, maybe.
80, I think it was 84.
84. Okay, so I would have been 16. And I remember thinking, this is the way movies should be watched,
Sure.
I've been to a lot of movies where I was like one of three people in the theater.
Yes.
After watching the movie, I understood why. But that was the way it should be. And I think what we've created about movie culture now is the exclusivity of that midnight show or that 10 o'clock show where it's I've got to be the first one to see, the Avengers movie or, Spider-Man or Batman or Star Wars, whatever's coming out.
I will tell you on that note, good or bad, I'm not sure. There was the midnight shows and everybody got used to the midnight shows. Well, the companies, the studios understood that was happening. So all of a sudden it was, okay, well, let's open our movie at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let's open our movie at 9 o'clock. And now you have a movie like a Top Gun, which opens at 4 o'clock on Thursday. Now they're advertising it. So I don't know whether it's good or bad, but the day of the midnight show has almost gone away.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because, and again, not because of something that we've decided to do. It's because if you're going to keep up with the trend that's happening in theaters, you want to show it first.
Yeah.
So if Top Gun is going to show at 4 o'clock, then by God, we're going to show it at 4 o'clock.
Well, and the last thing you want to do is to say, well, we're not going to show it at 4 o'clock. And then, a bunch of people just go to Columbus instead of staying here.
Absolutely.
Right?
So
Yeah,
we're trying
100%.
to make it so that we can do that as well. So, and we're constantly trying to keep up with your larger chains. And many times they get movies a little bit quicker than we do. They know that they've got it solidified a little faster than us. So we do try to get those movies put on our website as quickly as we can. But we might not know until the week before, 2 weeks before, where a chain, I'm not going to say any names,
Right.
where a chain might have these movies up for sale a month ahead. Now we're trying to keep up, but they've got hundreds of theaters.
Yeah.
Right.
We have 3.
Yeah. Yep. No,
So
I understand completely.
We're doing everything we can to try to keep up with all that as well. But, as soon as we know that we have a movie, and Cora is definitely the brains behind our media stuff. So I'm going to give her all of that credit, where she makes sure that it makes its way to social media as fast as soon as I know it's in the schedule, and she's got it up as quickly as we can. So if you find out that a movie is coming somewhere else, don't be afraid to send us a message, and we'll tell you. And we've actually scheduled movies because we've had people asking us, are you going to have this movie or not? I'm trying to think of a couple that have been good examples recently, Cora, but we've had
Downton Abbey's one.
Yeah, Downton Abbey.
We were pretty sure we were going to get Downton Abbey, and then we had several requests in, so we, kind of pushed the envelope a little bit, and they said, "Oh yeah, you've got it."
And we'd had people asking us about a movie like 2,000 Mules. Again, not wanting to make a political statement by any means, but finding out that movie became available to us, we were glad to take it. We've got a movie right now that we just booked. Watcher, thank you. Again, she's much better at this than I am. And we're thrilled because there's only like 500 theaters that are playing it versus a Top Gun that's got 4,000. So it's just neat that we were able to get a movie like that, which is really exciting to us as small independent theater owners, that we're able to expand our availability.
And that's something that Danberry offers to this area that Tri-City and Silver Screen can't necessarily, because it is a 10-screen theater. A movie like Watcher is more likely to make it onto one of our screens here than it is in Jackson or Gallipolis.
Yeah.
So we can help direct our traffic from Jackson here to see it where they couldn't before.
This is big. Verizon Fiber Internet is ready.
Let them get you hooked up and power your Wi-Fi network
With the speed and reliability that only a 100% fiber network can do.
Verizon is ready to help you do what you do better. With real people, real rates, and a real service.
Connect with them today, and the first month is free. Plus no contracts, no data caps. Call 740-772-8331.
Or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today.
Yeah.
And, our people were coming here anyway. If they might want to come here and go to a restaurant, it's a date night. Let's go to Chillicothe instead of going to Jackson, where, the Chillicothe people, we're trying to get them to not go north.
Sure. Yep.
We're trying to get them to stay home.
Yeah. Yep.
So, that's been important to us to think about in those terms.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was surprised that you had family camp.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny, like I know those guys, the two, Tommy and Eddie that are in that. They're the skit guys. And I've known them through the National Youth Workers Conventions for years.
And exactly the same thing happened to me, where I was dealing with Matt McKee, who works for the radio in Jackson. And I go in and do a little radio show with them on Fridays. And Matt and I were talking about this movie, and he said, "Oh yeah, the skit guys." And he was a youth pastor. He's like, this movie is fantastic. So when we were finding out about it, when the time came, we knew we were going to end up kind of losing a family movie, like probably an animated. But I wanted a family movie to still have available in Jackson at that time. So we brought that one in. And it was neat to just see those things in a movie like that. It was done well enough.
I went 2 weekends ago to see it.
Oh yeah, and so I had
myself.
a lot of people tell me that it was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, so I'm texting them. I'm like, "Hey, I'm checking out your movie at my hometown theater.
Yay!
This is awesome."
That's exciting.
So it was fun. It was a cute movie, very family oriented. I enjoyed it, but like it was a lot of times in the past, some movies like that didn't make it to Chillicothe.
Sure,
so you really had to to go to Columbus to a theater that had a lot of screens that might be running.
So we've been trying to bring in some different movies like that. I mean, obviously when you're dealing with a Top Gun, it's going to play on 2-3 screens. It just is what it is. But if we can bring in another movie like that and we find out it's available to us, we'll gladly do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But we would always encourage people, bring a friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
We brought family camp. So you need to bring 20 people with you. If you know these guys, you need to get them here.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So you had the experience of going to CinemaCon recently, and obviously the theater industry, the movie industry has been through a lot over the last couple of years. What's the mood coming out of something like that? Do people feel pretty optimistic about people coming back to theaters, or is there still some pessimism, some unease? How's that working out?
So we went to the 2021 CinemaCon, which had been pushed from April until August of 2021. And then we also went in April of 2022. So the feel of those two CinemaCons was completely different.
Oh, wow.
In August, we were completely masked. There were about 1,500 people total. There was no star power. Usually the big studios will do their presentations and have star after star come out on stage and introduce and whatnot. When we came in April of 2022, it was the complete opposite. There were about 5,000 people in attendance. We weren't completely masked, but you still had to show vaccination proof, et cetera. And The Rock was there. Steve Carell was there. You know, we don't get to meet them like handshake and high fives or anything, but, you know, they were on stage, they were doing interviews, they were doing presentations, and it was amazing. The perspective of the cinema industry has definitely taken a full turn.
Yeah.
When we'd gone the first time, we watched Clifford the Big Red Dog and Ghostbusters. Again, both fantastic movies, but this time it was Top Gun.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And the Black Phone.
And the Black Phone, and just a much bigger. Here's what I would say. I think, to answer your question, the independent or theaters, movie theaters, are waiting for the movie companies to recommit to showing movies on the big screen. Now, there is absolutely a place for movies on Netflix. There's absolutely a place for movies on HBO Max. There's a place for that. But Top Gun, I've got a pretty good system in my house.
Yeah. You can't beat.
No.
All right.
It was incredible.
Yes.
Like, that movie is, I don't think you've seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet, no.
It's fantastic.
John Hamm was on Jimmy Fallon like Monday night before it released. And I loved his quote. He said, "They're going to make you buy a whole seat, but you're only going to use the edge of it." It was fantastic. And I've seen it 3 times, and that's how I felt every time. I'm just on the edge of my seat watching the entire movie.
If you were a kid and grew up in the 80s and you got to see the original in the theater.
Yes.
Like it plays to,
which I did.
The nostalgia, the nostalgia of that movie. It has some like fan service moments that you, like, unapologetically, like, this is for you fans.
Yeah.
And the opening with Tom Cruise and his little, like, "Thank you for coming. This movie's for you, the fans."
Yes.
He's talking directly to every person sitting in those theaters. Thank you for coming to the theater to watch this, because this movie deserves to be watched on a giant screen.
Which is why they held it back for so long.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. It's interesting because, you know, yesterday Netflix comes out and says, we're not going to do these vanity projects anymore. We're still going to do like The Irishman, which was a just straight to Netflix film. We will do some of these other ones like, everything that Ryan Reynolds has been in over the last couple of years on that. But they're not going to spend a lot. And I'm a guy that I like, I saw Dances with Wolves in the theater, and I was into it for all 3 hours, JFK and, all these other shows.
And there's a place for that. Absolutely. There are movies that would never get released in a movie theater, and they now have, it's the same thing again. I've been a musician all my life, and there are musicians now who are YouTube famous.
Yeah.
And they're incredible musicians, way better than anybody you're going to go see playing at a 20,000 seat arena. They're just better.
Yeah.
And YouTube and social media have given them a voice.
Yeah.
the same thing is happening with movies, where you have independent directors, and they're not waiting for a local theater to play their movie, maybe, right. And they're going to lose their butts on it because they just spent all this money to produce it. Now they can do it. It can go streaming to television. And if it does well, it might end up in a theater. So again, I think that there's a great place for that, but we're hoping that those movies that deserve really to be seen immediately in the theater will come to the theater and stay in the theater.
Yeah.
And I would still encourage people to check out, maybe you've already gone to see Top Gun. Take a look at the other 9
yes,
that are
absolutely.
on the screen, because, there's a place for those too. And they might be available on your phone or on your Netflix at home, but you're still going to get a good big screen experience.
So we've learned that. I hate sitting here and talking about streaming services and movies, because Cora is smiling at me as I say that. But there's a movie like A Lost City, and Lost City, was in theaters. It did very well, and it's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
It's currently streaming, but people are watching it at home and then coming to the movie theater to watch it again.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, this
is really
awesome.
good. I love it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Sure. So as much as in my mind, I'm going, how awful is this? Like, hey, they re-advertise the movie. Suddenly people start coming out to see it again. So it's not all bad.
You can see it once streaming, and then come to the theater with a whole group of friends.
Yeah.
So that part's been good.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that is I felt like Power of the Dog, which was a phenomenal movie. I watched it on Netflix. I found myself wanting to see it on a theater screen.
Yes.
Because of just the majesty of the cinematography was so great. That's cinematography gets me as a movie watcher. I'm a huge fan of River Runs Through It, which is one of my favorite movies, because I remember seeing it in a theater and just the expanse of Montana and being enthralled. Like, I wanted to go there as soon as I got out of the theater, And so I think, you're right. You can have a great 70-inch 4K display with a great sound system, but when you see it in a theater, it's a different feel and a different, and again, like to your point, Cora, I think bringing friends along with you makes it a different experience too. Yes. You can all chat afterwards over coffee or a beer or whatever, your drink is, and just talk about what you just saw,
It becomes an experience.
Yeah.
So Cora was, again, she was involved with the theater beginning of the pandemic. And one of the things that they were doing at Tri-City at that time was selling movie theater popcorn. And even though you couldn't come to the theater, people were coming in to buy popcorn. Yeah. Now, part of it might have been because they were really nice people who wanted to continue to support that business. But the other part was there's just something about movie theater popcorn.
100%.
And so people would come in and buy some movie theater popcorn, take it home, and enjoy time with their families.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have a popcorn machine at my house, and my wife will make different flavors of popcorn and things like that. And I can tell you, during the pandemic, we got that popcorn machine from her mom and dad, and that's what we did with our family. We would every Friday night we would watch some movie, and then usually the kids would go to bed, and then we would watch another movie. So we were just eating movie theater popcorn all night long. Not with that butter though. That butter is different. That's different butter. And
liquid gold.
Yeah, liquid gold. Exactly. So, what are you most looking forward to? I know, like, you have the summer movie series coming up, so I think we should talk about that a little bit, because that's a great thing that you're doing out there. Something that was there before, but you've kind of brought it to the new ownership. So,
sure. I don't know a lot about how it was operated before, but in Jackson we've done free summer movies for, I don't know, a gazillion years.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to bring that same tradition here. I don't have any of the flyers with me.
Yeah, I left them all in my car.
Sure. But
go to their Facebook page.
Yes.
You'll find everything you need to know.
Exactly. It's or danbarry.com/free summer movies.
Yes.
So every Thursday in June and July, starting next week, we'll have a free kid movie. Adults and kids are all welcome. It's all free admission for anyone. The movie starts at 10 a.m. This first movie is going to be Paw Patrol the movie. And we're actually going to have Chase, Sky, and Marshall
All right.
at the theater. You can get your picture taken with them and everything from 9 to 10 before the movie starts.
That's great.
Concessions will be open. There's a great lineup of movies. These probably aren't in order, but I know we've got Boss Baby Family Business, Spirit Untamed, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Space Jam 2.
I am going to bring my older daughters who are 22 and 20 back to watch Spirit.
Awesome.
Because when they were little girls, we watched Spirit 5 billion times.
Exactly.
So
I have daughters the same age.
yeah, so
And
I
I
know
know-
that soundtrack inside and out. Bryan
exactly,
Adams.
100%. Yeah,
Sure. And I know a lot of these movies were movies that possibly came out while Danberry was closed. So this will give people a chance to, maybe they did watch it at home a lot with the kids and be able to bring them back and
That's great.
see it on the big
well,
screen.
and like you said, you see it on the big screen, and it's a different experience.
Sure. And we're trying to plan, like the characters coming next week, we're trying to plan something along with every or almost every movie this summer.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that 9 to 10 feature. We're doing some charitable things, some fun things with characters, maybe some giveaways and things too. So
Some other are there other big movie premieres, maybe for the more adult audience or whatever? Like,
well, Jurassic Park comes out
Yeah.
on June 9th.
Can't wait.
Exactly. And Buzz Lightyear comes out on June 17th.
oh, that's right, I
That looks
forgot
pretty
about
amazing.
that. Looks
The-
amazing.
the trailer looks great.
Yeah.
The
Minions.
Jurassic World one. That's again, it's another one of those. Well, if you come in and we were talking about sound and projection,
Yeah.
if you were to go and just take a peek behind the screen at the size of the subwoofers that are in each of those theaters, there's a reason that, it's done that way. Not because it's supposed to be loud, but when a dinosaur steps,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
wanna
going to
feel
know
it.
about it.
That's
You
right.
wanna
You're going
feel
to
it.
know about it.
For sure.
So, yeah. I'm sorry. Keep going,
That's
Cora.
okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
You had me at Jurassic Park. But
Yes.
Right. Minions, The Rise of Gru comes
Oh,
out
yeah.
this
Oh,
summer.
You mentioned
Might have to take
Black
a
Phone earlier. Is that out yet, or is that coming?
It comes out, I believe, the 17th.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
that sounds
that movie very much intrigues me. I'm a drama guy and a sort of a suspense guy at
Okay,
heart.
so Cora and I have to be honest about
Okay.
Black Phone, which
right.
Cora's going to look at me.
I'm not much of a horror movie fan.
Okay.
So I don't do well sleeping afterwards. So I skip those
Okay.
for the
So
most
understood.
part.
We had the opportunity to watch it at CinemaCon as well.
Right.
And instead we went and had pizza.
He skipped it for me.
Oh, again, I just.
that was nice of you to do
I,
that.
I
So-
had, and
great.
again, I would have loved to have seen it because of the environment itself, but I know that it's not. I'll go watch it.
Yeah.
But I would much rather be with my wife
right.
than go watch that movie, so I can go watch it again.
He'll go watch it at Danberry.
I know a couple people that have movie theater access, so
Yeah.
I'll get to see it.
We'll never hate on anybody doing the right thing for their wife, for sure.
right.
So yeah, we went and did that, but I'm really excited about that one. And that exact same weekend, the new Elvis movie is coming out
that's
as
right.
well, with Tom Hanks is in that. And I know maybe it's a Southeastern Ohio thing, but I know there are huge Elvis followings
Yeah.
in this area. And I mean, obviously they're nationwide, but I don't know. We're there's that Appalachia thing that happens here.
Yep.
Anything that's
Well, and
south
you
of
would normally be
Columbus. And,
suspicious of a movie like that, but with Tom Hanks, it gives it a lot of credibility.
yes.
So
Yes.
I think it bodes well. We haven't seen it yet, but it bodes well.
None of
So,
us have seen it yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be wonderful. So
Yeah.
I know that there'll be plenty of people who are excited about that one. Again, same
Yeah.
exact time as Black Phone,
Those are both June 24th.
June
All right.
24th. Oh, thank you. I haven't got a chance to put those into the system
Yeah,
yet.
right.
So
I was surprised at the trailer in front of Top Gun a year out for the new Tom Cruise movie, the Mission Impossible series continuing, like a whole year. I mean, it's like it doesn't come out until June of next year, and
I
all the
believe
footage that they had was unbelievable.
I believe that's Mission Impossible 7, and
Yeah.
he's already filming Mission Impossible 8. When we went to CinemaCon in August of 21, they showed us a 20-minute featurette on the stunts from 7.
From 7.
And in the trailer, you see him skydiving into this giant Irish, I don't know.
I don't even know what to call it. A cavern.
Landscape.
I mean, I don't know. It's crazy.
And the featurette showed us they flew in ramps for him to motorcycle. I'm not saying it right, but ride a motorcycle.
He basically
off
learned.
Of the ramp
he already
on
knew
this
some
cliff.
motocross, but he this one stunt alone is motocross, and I don't want to just say
Parachuting.
I don't want to say parachuting. It's like full blown skydiving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw that in the trailer. It's amazing.
It is.
But that's what the pandemic did. It gave him like the schedule that he was shooting through. So like 7 is really already done. They're just waiting their time because they didn't want to
Compress.
Yeah.
7's done. 8 is being filmed, or they're
I am a big
finishing
fan
them
of
up.
the Mission Impossible series. The first one is incredible. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched it, but yeah, that'll
Is
be
that
a
like
big,
one of those ones that whenever you see it on TV, you just stop and
like Field of Dreams, Moneyball.
Moneyball.
Well, you were asking about kind of what's the mood at CinemaCon.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that after the release of Top Gun, because there have been a lot of people, and I hate to say that Top Gun is like this great thing, but I think that Top Gun really could be the movie that is going to push forward this. I don't want to say it's an optimism, but what you're reading and what the reviews are is that the summer blockbuster movies, plural,
Right.
are back.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting to us, because opening a movie theater during the pandemic is kind of a pretty big gamble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So the idea that these movies are going to be there, that that our fans, that fans of the movies and our public want to come and see, that's fantastic to
And
us.
confidence to the employees. And
Yes.
Yeah,
well, and I
definitely.
think, as word spreads about, the improvements that you've made with the quality of the movies, things that people are eagerly anticipating, as we've just detailed here. I think a lot of people in the movie industry were looking at Top Gun like, okay, this is the one. If it doesn't do well, we are really in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, we got to go back to the drawing board.
And now I think they can feel a lot more confident about doing things. So,
And I would tell you that a year ago, the conversations that people like insiders were having were, okay, how's the industry going to change? But right now the industry has changed for the better.
Right.
I know that just conversations that you have with people about how the pandemic forced something that may have taken 5 years to happen in 2.
yeah.
And that's in society in general.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
100%.
Yeah, compressed everything.
Yeah.
So not, in a good way, as much as it's in an awful way,
Yeah.
but in a good way, society really did push forward.
Yeah.
So, and we tried to do the same thing with the theaters,
Yeah.
just pushing forward, making 5 years worth of progress in 2.
Yeah.
Yep. What else didn't we cover? All right. Well, then let's give everybody ways to get in touch with you. So you mentioned Danberry.com earlier, but you also
Sure.
have Facebook, things like that.
Facebook
So,
is also Danberry. Might be Danberry Chillicothe.
Yeah, I think
Same
it
thing
is.
with Instagram. Also
that's
Danberry
right.
Chillicothe.
Yeah.
We're on TikTok. That's new.
Oh, let's
our,
go.
Our
really?
managers are taking that and running with it. So we're
Okay.
trusting
Good.
them to know that.
I'm going to
platform.
add you. I'm going to add you
I
immediately.
I'm not.
Marty won't
Intro-
take the plunge.
I'll
I
take
take
the
I'm going to openly admit on this. I was not a fan of going to TikTok, but they create a TikTok and it ended up with 10,000 views within like 24 hours.
Yep. That's
That's
when you're
crazy.
sold.
Crazy.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
You're
Cool,
viral at
great.
that point, right? At least mini viral.
Yeah, that's
Right.
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 There's
Yeah,
like you're famous and Chillicothe famous. You're Chillicothe viral. That's what
There
you
you
are.
go.
Yeah, I think your website, I go to it all the time to check out what movies are on. I really like how it works because when you like the other night I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll go catch a late show, and I go and I'm like, the date or the times fall off as you pass the
Yes.
start
Yes.
times, and it's kind of nice because then I was like, oh, I already missed the Tonight Show, so I'm gonna go tomorrow.
And I feel like a broken record whenever I say this because I feel like I've been saying it for 6 months. The app is in the works.
Yeah.
And once we have the Danberry app, which I believe that what we're hearing right now is that it's actually going to be a Tri-City Theaters app. which will have Tri-City Theater in Jackson, Silver Screen 7 in Gallipolis, and then here, that you'll be able to kind of choose your location and you'll be able to see all of our offerings. But what's great about the app is that as soon as I put it in the computer, like within seconds, it's there.
It updates faster than the website does. So that's the best place to get the time.
So it will be one of those things
up.
that we will be encouraging people to go out and download that app, and you will have the most up-to-date information every time. So again, I've been saying it for 6 months, and let's blame Google and Apple on this one. Eventually that app will come out, but we're trying to do what we can to get it out a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Sure. So. If you are a frequent moviegoer, make sure you get our loyalty rewards card, because you can earn 2 points per ticket and 1 point per dollar you spend at the concession stand, and you earn free popcorn, free movie tickets, free drinks, etc. So make sure you get the loyalty card.
On that. I've gone to 3 movies in the last
year.
Come in. It's $1. Come in, and as soon as you go in, there's a little placard there that tells you information. But just tell them, hey, I want to join the loyalty rewards program. It's $1, and you make your way in, and it accumulates. And the points don't just
the Marty Ford Club.
There you go.
I'm telling you, the points don't go away. What happens is they keep accruing, and you use your things as you go.
You climb the ladder, and then you climb the ladder again. So it's $1 forever. Make sure you register your phone number with it. Okay. Our employees try to do that when you're there.
Marty's going to be buying me movie tickets now.
There you go.
And see. So
so the loyalty.
Top Gun again. So
there you go.
I encourage you to. I'm ready. It was better the second time.
What?
She's seen it 3 times.
I'm ready to go again too.
Yeah, there you go. We're all going.
And it's just so funny.
There's a show.
That's right.
There is a show.
Tonight.
Yeah, that's right. We have expanded. We did re-expand the hours now. Our summer hours. We do have. I talk about it in terms of there's a 1 o'clock show, a 4 o'clock show, and a 7 o'clock show during the week. Now, saying 1, 4, and 7, that's not the time.
Right.
It could be 12:30, 12:45.
Right, sure.
The easy way is that we open at noon every day.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
So, so now here during the summer, we've re-expanded the hours, and we know that in the winter it'll probably melt back a little bit, but we have re-expanded hours, and people are coming. So as long as people keep coming at that time,
that's fantastic.
We'll keep it open then. So
let's keep them coming and bringing friends.
Yes,
and signing up for the loyalty card and so on, because honestly, we're so grateful for the investment that you've made in Chillicothe. Because we need first run movies and
a great experience, and that's what it is.
Exactly.
It really is.
And so far, everybody's just been so welcoming to us. We've been really appreciative of it being there. I will say that you hear my voice right now. Mine's the face that you see at the beginning of the movie, but I will always tell you that Cora is definitely the brains behind this operation. And I'm so blessed because I get to work with my wife every day. And so we're just thrilled to be involved in the community, and hope to see you all at the movies.
Well, thanks for taking the time to come in. We really appreciate that.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks. You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
It feels a little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already